What's up, guys? Bulk Galaxy here, and I just played my last game of For Honor. They announced that there's only about 5 minutes left, so I'm just going to do a quick duel to have something going on in the background while I talk. Oh man, I hope there's really 5 minutes left. This is going to be quick. So I want to give my final thoughts and impressions on the game. Since they made that announcement, it's going to be kind of candid, so bear with me. First thing I want to go over is kind of the aesthetics. I think that the look and feel of the game is very authentic to the style that they're going for. That makes sense. Ultimately, I guess what I'm trying to say is the era of combat, when you're looking at like your more medievally feel kind of deal, that's really what they're going for, and I think they accomplished that very well here. The music, the orchestra, I think is very well done, and I think that there could stand to be a little bit more variety, especially in like your Dominion modes. This is gonna sound kind of crazy because I just said I like the orchestrated deal when you're waiting around, but in the game I'd like to hear and this is just preference, like a more Dynasty Warriors type, like heavier, more amped up music. Nope, it's lagging. It's lagging. I'd like to. I don't know. That's just preference. Like, I think this is fine for duels, like the drum. But when you're playing Dominion or the bigger modes, I think people will want to. I don't know, feel a little more amped, but that's really nitpicky and personal preference. I think it's fine other than that. I mean, look at this, that water. I think that everything, of course, will get toned up as time moves on, as we get closer to the release here in February. But it looks really good. I mean, you look at the backgrounds as I turn my back to this person. They're not attacking me. I think they're afraid. It looks really good. Enough said. I think that there's no reason that it won't be updated here in the future. Yeah, there's no reason why it won't be. You know, your fire, your water effects, there will be things that, you know, look at that. That'll be tuned up, I think. So, got that out of the way. Let's just go right into the game modes. I'm playing Duel right now. Duel and Brawl are basically the same thing. Your duels are 1-on-1, your brawls are 2v2. They all rely on your base stats. There's no items or your cosmetics, so like the items you unlock cosmetically are in, but the stat boosts and everything they give you are not. So, and I think that's right for dueling, for sure. It'd be unfair. There's not really a, I don't know if they'll do like a ranked duel or anything like that. I assume they're gonna do something kinda similar. I couldn't tell you. I know that there's gonna be 2 more modes. One of them for sure is basically Dominion, which I'll get to, in a more 4v4 Team Slayer deathmatch type of deal, and I don't recall the other one. I'm sorry. I know I saw it on a forum. That's about the extent of that. So we talked about duels and brawls. As you saw, that was a duel. Best of 5. You win 3. You win. There's environmental kills. All that play into effect. Dominion, your 4v4, which only works half the time in the alpha, is more like a control point. You have 3 points. You have 2 basically by your spawn point. I'd call them maybe your base point. And then you have a middle where your NPC soldiers are fighting one another to control the middle ground. And then that's your own point. And that point interchanges a lot. There's no real sense in holding it consistently, because the other points are kind of the priority, I think. So Dominion by far to me was the most fun. Dueling and Brawl are good when you're learning new characters. Brawl when you're learning with your friends. Duel when you're learning by yourself. Other than that, there's really not much more grit. It's more about bragging rights than anything else. And 5 minutes. Must have been 15 minutes I read. Anyway, there's really bragging rights. They're good. They feel good to win. They attribute to your orders. You get different orders every day, and then you get contracts that change out. I don't know how often they will, because they haven't changed since the alpha came out. But you'll do your dailies, which is the best way to get golden experience. So they're good for that. And like I said, learning the game is really, really important. It's very, very skill based. There's not a lot of luck factor in there. Dominion, I'd say your 4v4. The better communication you have with your team, the better you're gonna do. Which is the same as any other game, but more importantly, especially in Dominion. I don't know about the Slayer mode. I'd assume the same, because if you go off by yourself, you're going to die if you unfortunately run into two decent players. So I'm going to move on, just move straight into Dominion. Dominion's where you get to use like all your items. So go over to the hero, go over to my character, kind of show you what I'm talking about. So all of your items you collect, like you saw at the end of the duel, I got like a level 3 axe. You know, they give you a little stat boost, as you can kind of see on the bottom right. That's my level 6 helmet. You see it gives you a, like you can see the debuff resistance. I actually have the feet cooldown on. It's just being blocked by that little message there. And these all have an impact on Dominion and I assume the other 4-player mode. You also unlock cosmetics that way. You get your 4th renown, which is that little, when you look at my deal, that little 1 by my name above my level. I've got renown 1. So once you hit level 21, I think, you go into a renown. So those, your feats, like the Berserker has a trap. He has a bunch. Each character has 4 feats that you go into a game with 3 different tiers. One tier is not necessarily better than the other. It's just unlocking tiers different. I don't know if they're all different for every character. I just know the way you unlock them and which ones they start out with are different. Oh man, I was not expecting. I apologize again how candid this is. I was not expecting it to be over so soon. Let's see what else about Dominion. That's just great. It's the most fun I've had in a multiplayer in some time. Since probably, well, it's not so long ago, but since Overwatch first came out. This is definitely, if you're looking for something new, I would definitely pick this up. The 4v4 just has this chaos about it that's exhilarating. Especially when you get into like your 3v3s or your 3-on-2s. Just getting out of situations that seem hopeless and turning them around, and the games have almost always been close for me. And it's just, I can't say enough about it. It was easily the most fun I had in the alpha. Yeah, not much more to say. I love the fact that you can't just go in alone and run train on everybody. You just can't. Yeah, it would take a special kind of person to do that. So, moving on from that, those are just the game modes were good. I think they'll build upon them and make them more intricate. I'd like to see more diversity. I know we're going to get 2 more. I've been spoiled by other multiplayer games. I'd like to see 6 or 7 modes. I think that you could easily spitball ideas around here that would make it work really well. And I don't know if you could do more than 4v4, but an 8v8 would be freaking crazy, and I think if they can do it, they should. So, take a drink of water here real quick. I'll go over some characters next. So, you've got your 3 base characters, which are, you know, they go easy. You can see next to their names. You got your, at the top right where it says Vanguard, you got Warden. Above it, you got Vanguard. To the right of that, it says Easy. So you have 2 easy characters, 2 medium characters, 2 hard characters. Now each one, I think, kind of represents the general class you're going to be dealing with. I gotta be honest, I've done limited research on the game. I just got to play it a little bit before this and was real excited, and this is the most extensive I've got to play. But I know each faction, your Knights, your Vikings, and the Japanese get 4 characters each, which are general reflections. So you got your Conqueror, which is similar to your Raider, which is similar to what's going to be coming out, the Shigoki, so on and so forth. Your Warden and your Kinsei are about the same. So, no, I didn't find that any particular character had a higher advantage over the other, and it just went away. That's a shame. Yeah, it's not going to let me go back in the menu. Anyway, I didn't think that any class was broken or was overpowered to such an extent that it was an unfair advantage over the others. You really just had to learn the characters and what they do and how to counter them. And some characters are better against others, like the Kinsei, or the Orochi is better against the Berserker. And I just found those little deals. It might have been a personal thing. The only character, so you had the Warden, who was I would say your very basic, like, starter level character. And him and the Raider. The Raider also. Your 2 basic starter characters. One gets you into kind of the standard, what we'd call, not squishy, but not tanky character. The Berserker is more of your tank. Then you get to your Kinsei, which is very high on speed and countering. Both the Kinsei and the Orochi were that way, but the Orochi, I'd say, is more counter, while the Kinsei was more speed. The Berserker is just pure offense. And then the Conqueror was the pure defense. So, if I had to say anything, I would say that to be good at this game, you'll have to just learn the different characters. The only thing I would tweak, I guess, is the Orochi. There's not really a way to punish the Orochi for messing up, or their recovery is really fast. Maybe elongating their recovery would be, I don't think it would damn them. The thing about the Orochi, and I think the thing that people complain most about, is they're almost too fast. But the trade-off being that they're so weak. Like, the Berserker, a full combo from the Berserker basically kills them. To give you an idea, and really just about anybody who gets a combo on them kills them. So it's a highly skilled, and then when you look at the characters, it says it's a hard character to play. But it's a highly skill-based character. You have to be good at countering, and if you're not, you're going to die a lot. But I don't think by any means they're more powerful than the Berserker or the Conqueror. It's just some of them have advantages over others. But I'd only tweak the Orochi in a sense that I think that his recovery needs tweaked, not necessarily his speed. So, moving on from that real quick, wrap this up. The customizations is pretty good. Making your symbol, and oh my goodness, there's a bunch going on. making your symbol. So each faction gets their own shield, kind of represented in the title. The left, you get a triangular shield with the knights. The Vikings get a round shield, and the Japanese get the triangle shield. The knights get the square shield, and the Vikings get the round shield. You get to make kind of your emblem at the start. I didn't spend a whole lot of time. I went through a bunch of customizations to see what I liked, and I made what I liked, but it took me about 10 minutes. But my friends spent like 45 minutes. I waited on them to play. They spent about 45 minutes making their emblem the exact way they wanted it. You can change positions and do different color schemes and things, and they're really good, really fun. As you play characters, you'll unlock customization like color wear and things like that. I'm not a huge fan of that. I think if you're going to let someone customize one aspect, you should let them freely customize all of them. That's just me. So I don't think it took away anything, but I'd like a little more control over what my character looks like. But beyond, it's not as disappointing as, say, Titanfall, when you couldn't customize your mechs at all, but it's not to the caliber of, say, like Dragon Age or your RPGs like that. It's at a nice place in the middle. So the items you get change your look too, but there's not a whole lot of difference I noticed between like your level 1 look and the level 6 item look, level 6 being the max. So I'd like to see more. I think they can add more. They've got quite a few months to do that. Will they do it? Probably not. So I guess to wrap up, I'll go ahead and wrap this up. Is it going to be a good buy? I certainly think so. Whether or not you should buy it on launch day if something else is coming out, the only thing I'd say is Ubisoft has a very terrible history of their servers working and being very glitchy and kind of all over the place. So that's the only reason I say cause for pause. And it showed here. It's an alpha. It's an alpha, but it's, it's not something that's been detained to an alpha before. They're very big history of that. So, other than that, I'd say it's definitely going to be a buy for me. It's something I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for something new to get into. First-person shooters, I think, have really just run their course. Overwatch took a really good stab, and I think it's really fun to play. And I'm always going to enjoy playing Halo. Battlefield 1, I think, is going to be very refreshing. I played the beta of that, and it was very, very, very good. Very, very good. So this will definitely be a buy. It's very good that it comes out in February, kind of in that lull we experience after the holidays. Give us time to kind of go over all of our holiday buys. But this is by far the best experience I've had in hand-to-hand combat. I have very little experience with Chivalry. But yeah, overall, enjoyable. If I had to give it a rating, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. The only reason it doesn't get higher is because it had so many damn server issues. That's about it. I had a buddy who, his guard mode, which is kind of the most important aspect of the game, it lets you lock on to characters and direct your blocking and everything. Like the real foundation. Yeah, it just stopped working. It wasn't a controller issue. It worked with every other game, just not this one. And they said the way to fix it was to re-download it. So hopefully issues like that don't happen. Yeah, 8 out of 10. Will buy it. Certainly should pre-order it. Unless you really hate pre-orders, which then don't pre-order it. But I'm going to. And I'm going to enjoy myself in February by cutting everyone's heads off and making people bow to my will. So anyway, guys, thanks y'all for watching. I've got this and a few more gameplay videos coming up, and hopefully we'll see more of this in February. It doesn't get delayed. So thanks, guys, for watching. appreciate you enjoying this very candid wrap up. And drop a like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know what you want to see.